Welcome to Dexerto's The Jungle XTRA, presented by DJ Esports. Sign up on djesports.io to immediately participate in the World's Prediction Series and get 1,500 DJT free. dGon and Monty here to break down some of the picks that we made last week and then give you all the information you need for the World Finals. Monty, we're here. We finally made it.
Yep. We get to see how badly we did last week. In week one, we did fucking amazing. And we'll talk about why we did badly in week number 2 and the assumptions that we were making, which were, based off of a pattern of previous behavior at the World Championship that, especially in the EDG game, I don't think turned out very well for us. If I remember the kind of bets we were making, I'm scared to look at this, but we did crush it in the first week. So I guess this is just it coming full circle. But the other nice thing is, when something unexpected happens, it's exciting. So you win by being excited about the games and them not turning out exactly as you predicted.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I wanted to see some good series. We got to see some good series. We just had to pay.
No, we got to see a good series, and then we got to see another series. All best of fives that go to 5 games are not created equal. That's not how it works.
I mean, according to Riot, it is. Look at all the viewership numbers. You got the same amount of stream time. You get the LPL champions get pushed all the way to the end. They were 2 great series there, Monty. All right, that's enough ribbon before I get in too much trouble. I know you don't care, but I care. All right, let's dive into it. We'll take a look at our picks from last week in the semifinals. So you head on over to the website, djesports.io, hit log in here in the top right. You can see I'm logged in. Click right here onto esports, bam, and it'll bring you to this page. And here we are. We highlighted our World Championship. This is the only one. Again, sorry, Greek League. Sorry, Iberian Cup. We just want to see the big game here. But before we get to Damwon, Kia, and EDG for all the marbles, let's take a look at what half the marbles look like for us. So on the top right, you can check what your previous bets were. And so we'll go to all of our previous bets here, past events, time period, all. Oh, it's so much red. What?
All right, I'll start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. We'll talk about what happened. We made a lot of prop bets with our DJT.
Yeah, we did. All right, let me go back here. This is the Cloud9. So that's too long. There's not 1026, 1026. Oh wait, yeah, 1026 are the ones that we want to take a look at here. So starting here, these are the Damwon ones where it's Damwon against T1 that they would win, and they would win 3-0 or 3-1. I put 3-1 here with the +5 -5, and I bet 1,000, which was the most that I'd bet on anything. I bet like 500 on the side bets. And this was not the case. SKT came back.
I was glad it wasn't a 3-1 because, it was extremely exciting. It was probably one of the best of 5s in World's history. So I'm happy we were wrong about that.
Yeah, this is the one that I feel like we're okay with paying for better entertainment. It happened. When you take a look at this was the big analysis that we had. Damwon, Kia taking first dragon. From what I remember, this was a focus of theirs, plus SKT rotating their bot lane to the top side pretty early and putting an emphasis on hero. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so this is just for game 1 because as the series evolves, it gets a lot harder to predict what's going to happen. So you can bet overall stuff and game 1 stuff, and I feel pretty confident on those.
So the reason why I like to look at the game 1 stuff is because, like you're saying, teams are going to come in with certain tendencies, and they're going to come in having researched their opponent's tendencies. So game 1s tend to be a little bit more predictable, whereas over the course of the series, teams will evolve based on how the other team is playing. And so you can't really know that. Like if we were to come back on the site after game 1, then I feel like we could know more and make more accurate predictions. But
right. Unless you're, was it 2019 Clutch Gaming? Always Herald at 10 minutes. There was, if they did that, they won the game. We'll scroll down here. All right, this was T1 getting first Herald, and this was the reason why we thought it was okay to say, hey, Damwon's going to get first Dragon because T1's going to go to the top side of the map, get first Herald, and so we kind of double up those prop bets. Not the case here. T1 losing first Dragon and first Herald in game number 1 against tendencies here, Monty.
Yeah, and it's because Damwon knew what was going on and like rotated up to the Herald, because T1 tends to go for those aggressive Heralds. And so if you know that and you're confident in taking a fight or being there first, then you have that opportunity. Also, this game was kind of a stomp, unfortunately.
Yeah, and because it was a stomp, we thought it would be over 23.5 kills, 24 kills. Not
We
the
weren't
case.
that far off. It was 19. So even in a stomp, like I think we didn't expect it to be this one-sided in game one. Like 4 kills only for T1. So it was disappointing, I think, from the T1 side. But even with how one-sided this was, under 30 minutes, 19 kills, it still got 19 kills. So I actually feel pretty good about that still. You could see how that could easily go a different direction.
And even stomp or not, we both agreed once a team takes a lead, pretty tough for them to come back. So game one under 2 Barons. Yes, we got that one right, but I bet a little less because I thought we had the big brain ones here with first Herald, first Dragon. Didn't quite work out.
We did make fewer predictions on this one than the other series though overall.
Yeah, because we felt like it would be closer, and it proved to be so. So, I mean, if we count like just the amount of bets that we made, so let's see, we had 1, 2, no, it's 1 and 1, 3, 4, 5, and we went 2 and 3. So, not the greatest.
We also lost
ratio
1,000 on that.
On the big one,
you really like putting like 1,000 on like specific ones. You definitely try and like swing for the fences.
I do, especially like on the who's gonna win one. But I tried to tilt the odds in our favor by getting how much they were gonna win by. All right, so that was SKT Damwon. Now the EDG Gen.G one, that's where we got wrecked because Gen.G came to play and EDG didn't necessarily want to close out as fast as they could. So, first Baron, series win, or dragon win, or first dragon, first turret. We had a lot of game one firsts, and they didn't pan out the way that we thought they would here, Monty.
Well, some of them did. I mean, so the first Baron, the reason why we saw that is because EDG would play a more conservative early game and kind of power up into the late game, and Gen.G has had pretty bad Baron control. I mean, the hilarious thing is that Gen.G did get the first Baron, and then they lost the game. So it's very it was a very Gen.G thing to do, but EDG had to hold on for the second Baron to actually win the game.
Yeah. Let's see. First dragon went our way, but first turret, first blood.
Or was it a third Baron? There were actually 3 Barons in this game. It was a stupid game.
It was a stupid game. It was a great series, Monty. This was peak League of Legends. Because I mean they're both semifinals. First turret, first blood, not over 24.5 kills, and no player with more than 7 or more than 6.
The really surprising thing about this from EDG's perspective is that they had a horrible first blood rate, but the first blood in this game actually happened with Viper and Mako playing Lucian Nami, and this wasn't something that EDG had done very heavily previously. Like, you pick Lucian Nami because you want to provide a lot of pressure in the laning phase. Right. Viper had only played Lucian once at Worlds prior to this series. He's played 4 games now. 3 of them took place in this series. So it was definitely a strategy that they had either saved or was targeting Gen.G very specifically. Like, they saw a level of weakness there. So that's just unpredictable, right? Like, we couldn't have known that Viper and Mako would be playing one of the highest pressure lanes available in this meta. And then Ruler in Life would kind of disrespect that and get first blooded, because that really hasn't been EDG's priority overall. In fact, I think EDG played very weirdly compared to how they've played previously in the tournament. And by that, I mean, not securing that first Baron, which had been a priority for them, and then also playing a more aggressive, kind of faster tempo early game, which is not also something we have not seen from them. So it was odd.
And in Picks and Bans, you could see the emphasis on getting the complete bot lane, because I think in T1 Damwon, the mid laner was getting picked in the first rotation of Picks and Bans, but not so much in the second one, because they wanted to complete the bot lane duos for both teams. So for Gen.G against EDG. So those were our picks from last week.
The other thing too is like putting The problem with what happened with Gen.G is the side lanes kind of fell behind, and BDD was playing a support champion in Seraphine in the mid lane. So they kind of lost all pressure from the mid lane because he couldn't go and affect the rest of the game as significantly as he would on certain other champions that he's done very well on over the course of Worlds. So I think once they started to lose those side lanes, it became very difficult for them to stop the early pressure. And they did manage to come back sort of eventually, right? It was a close game in the end. But I also would not have predicted BDD to start by playing Seraphine, which definitely affects First Blood, because part of what has made Gen.G strong has been like BDD and Clid's synergy getting early kills. So yeah, I don't know. Both EDG and Gen.G played a lot differently in game one than we would have thought they would. And Gen.G did not go back to this style, by the way, and it was stupid for them to try this.
Well, we talked about it on the Jungle, I guess proper. Make sure to go watch that. I like it when teams pull out like strategies like that. It just not that if secret strategies, just not that secret strategy. That one putting BDD on Seraphine mid doesn't register to me.
No. What you do is you have a secret strategy that revolves around BDD, not one that revolves around Rascal's Gwen. That's just dumb.
Well, we don't have to see Rascal's Gwen or Rascal for the rest of the tournament as we head to the World Championships. The two best teams, according to the format that we have here, LPL champion against reigning world champion. That's always fun, the back-to-back. And you can see it reflected here in the odds, just in the heads up, a 3.2 for EDG to win over Damwon. Damwon, you're going to have to bet a lot to make your money back for the heads up, 1.3 only. But here's our odds. Let's take a look here, Monty. Let's just start with the overall feeling of this matchup. This is a Damwon favorited game here.
Yes, I think everybody is expecting this to be heavily Damwon favorite. You can see that over 3 for EDG. I think that is accurate. I think that having a 3-0 or a 3-1 is probably pretty likely. I would say 3-0 is probably the most likely result. You just don't see the same level of versatility out of EDG in terms of their compositions or what they've been doing. I think they're pretty predictable. JJ's played like 8 games on Jarvan now. They had to ban the Lee Sin in the series against EDG. Canyon's obviously going to be super dangerous, not only on the Lee Sin, but a bunch of the other carry junglers. It seems very unlikely that EDG is going to be able to pull this out.
Yeah. You look across the stats here. I love taking a look at the stats on the right. Again, it compiles from the last 25 games, so you're looking pretty far back into LCK, and it's just insane win rates here for Damwon, with just 100% on all their like almost all of their champions, just because they haven't lost a series in forever. They didn't even lose any games in the group stage. These were the first games that they had dropped after.
Yeah, they've lost 2 games. They've lost 2 games overall.
It has been a very dominant performance.
And remember that they beat T1, and T1 was top of the group against EDG. So they've already they've beaten the team that topped the group. Now, true, T1 and EDG did split their games, but also there was the fact that it was, I believe it was the first game of the group stage between these two teams.
It was the celebration of LJL making it and being like, hey, here's Faker, good luck.
Yeah, and to be fair, EDG did dominate that game pretty heavily, but I think that was T1's probably worst game of the entire event, and they beat them in the second round robin. So obviously the transitive property doesn't always hold true, but basically like Damwon will be able to defeat EDG, and I think their tendencies are very clear. That Flandre wants the Graves in the top lane. Scout's champion pool, they've been, really zeroed in on the Jarvan in the jungle. So I think Damwon, just like they showed up with some kind of unorthodox picks like support Maokai, they're going to have a lot of answers to what EDG is going to throw at them. So I say 3-0 on this one. I say 3-0.
All right. So with that prediction, let's start rolling through some of these bets. Do we put a 3-0 odds pick here, or do we just take the series win? Have I learned my lesson? All right, I've learned my lessons. All right, cool. I've learned my lesson. Here's my 1,000 on the series. Bam, done. All right, I'll win 300 on 1,000. That's not always the best odds, but if you're betting on Damwon, it feels like pretty sure money after the last like 2 years of dominance. All right, let's take a look at some of our game 1 bets as we normally do. First blood, first turret, first dragon. I like taking a look at these 3 because they're relatively you can use the stats to kind of go through that. Closest one to us here is first dragon, Monty, but which ones stick out to you?
First dragon right now, just like we did in the past matches, Damwon's up at 79%, EDG is at 38%. They are so deprioritized on first dragon, and especially because those odds are very close, like I would feel good about that, right?
There it is. We'll slap on the 500 for there to make to get back 873, which should be like yeah, a nice little 373 turnaround there. What else? Because some of these are getting a little lopsided. So this first turret, EDG, not so much on that front. Although we did get to see the aggressive bot lane, it was a lot more lane pressure and not necessarily lane pressure and kill pressure, not necessarily tower pressure.
So here's the thing about this matchup. If Damwon doesn't decide to ban like the Lucian or the Nami, and they just say, okay, EDG, we're going to allow you to play this, and we think we can handle it. The thing about Beryl is he's played 10 different supports right now. Many of these supports are not super good in the laning phase. It's been mostly about how he plays them either roaming on the map or in the mid to late game, and that seems to be their focus. Like, they've really deprioritized bots. So if we see EDG employ a similar strategy that we saw against Gen.G, it's possible that first turret is going to go down in the bot side. Also possible, I suppose, that they push and rotate to dragon, but that wasn't what they did against Gen.G, really. And first turret is still 79% favored to Damwon compared to 63 for EDG. But based on the recent games that we've seen, I would be a little bit more reluctant to put the first turret down. First blood, though, I still think goes to Damwon.
Why is that?
So even though, again, it's 64% to 50%, so not a huge difference, I think that the way EDG got first blood in some of the games was based off of the 2v2 matchup in the bot lane. And I think Ghost and Beryl are going to look at that and say, okay, these guys are going to play aggressive. Let's not do anything too stupid. We're aware of this factor now, right? And I just think that Canyon and ShowMaker, like that synergy is super good right now. And I think that Canyon is playing a lot of these carry junglers that have high kill pressure early. So I would think Damwon probably for first blood.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. I was very much locked into the bot lane. I was like, well, I mean, the kill pressure is on EDG's side, but you look at that 2v2, it's the best 2v2 in the game.
I just don't think the blood. Yeah, I think if you're right, if the first blood happens in bot lane, it's it's probably going to be EDG, but I don't think it will happen in the bot lane. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And I think you've talked me into that one. All right. 500 is my side bet amount over to first blood for Damwon Kia. First turret. I mean, they are giving the best odds here for EDG. It is the most lopsided one. I
don't think this is worth it because the first turret differential is 79 to 63. And yeah, it's the odds aren't super good for Damwon in that case. And also, again, I think if they play around an aggressive bot side like they did against Gen.G, I am slightly concerned about that. In fact, we might just see Damwon just sacking the turret to get objectives on the top side.
Yeah. As I kind of just scroll through some of these other bets, this just seems to be where the odds are. Everything's around the 1 point, maybe. I guess this is the highest 1.7 first dragon, and we took that one. But like everything's been hovering around the 1.6 to 2.5, kind of range here. As we look at first to 5 kills, first to 10 kills, first to 15 kills, Baron, all this seems to just be like, hey, you can get a third more of your bet, or you can 2.5 almost triple your bet here for EDG, and it just feels like we're getting baited into something
here. Harold has been very close between these two teams. So if you're feeling lucky, maybe you go for first Herald Eye. Why don't you put 250 on first Herald Eye for EDG, because it has been relatively close overall, and that could see an early breakout fight. And maybe you get lucky on that one. I think again, even though this bit us in the ass last time, I still think you put first Baron on Damwon. Like, in spite of the fact that EDG is 10-6, they still get only 44% of first Barons. Like, it's not good. So
all right,
put 500 on that one, I'd say.
Bam. Baron in the eyes and hands of Damwon. Inhib, let's see. We got Inhib, game time, total kills. Again, total kills. Surprised me last time that it was only 17 and 19, or was it 19 and
yeah, it was 19 in game number 1, and then it was 18 in game number 2. Now, if we look at the entire series of Damwon versus T1, there was only one game that went over 23 and a half. And so game 1 was 19, game 2 was 18. Game 3 was the one that went over, was 32, which is a T1 win. Game 4 was 19. It was 18-1. That game was a total stomp. And then the last game was 22. So that might actually be quite high. EDG's games have been a little bit higher than that, but that was kind of a sloppier series, and I expect Damwon to close more cleanly. So I would take the under on that, which is what the odds seem to believe as well.
Yeah, but again, much more decent odds than up here with the firsts for most of these firsts. So, okay. We learned our lesson from last time. We'll go with the half bet here. So 500 and slap that on there.
The other thing too is the game 1 kills handicap, right?
Right.
Damwon won their 3 games. The first game they had a differential of kill differential of 9 over T1. The second win they had a kill differential of 17, and the third they have a kill differential of 8. So when Damwon wins, they close it pretty cleanly. So I think maybe you do take the kill handicap on Damwon at -6.6.
Let's take a look here. Okay, bam. And we'll slap on another 500. And please win game 1, Damwon. I mean, everyone's thinking we're going to win 3-0.
If you think Damwon's going to win the series, here's what you might do, right? Because of this information that we have, you might continue to go after every game and continue to do that one over and over and over again if it looks like they're going to win super clean.
Yeah. Game 1 total Barons at 1.5. Under just seems to be the play here. Whoever wins should close it out theoretically, but again,
the thing is, if EDG gets the first Baron, if they get the first Baron, then it's possible that Damwon comes back and takes additional Barons.
Yeah.
Especially because EDG, the weird stat that they have is they only get the first Baron 44% of the time, but they get 55% of the total Baron. So it means they're playing a lot of multi-Baron games where they're having to come back from losing Baron number 1.
Yeah. All right. Well, too risky. Well, this feels like one that we take a look at through the series and be like, all right, are both teams prioritizing this over, Soul? We'll find out. All right, so we put a handful in. Any others that jump out at you as we close out here, game 1 totals?
So no, especially because like the most player kills in Damwon's win, there was only one player in any of their wins that got over 6.5, and that was ShowMaker with 11 kills on LeBlanc in game 4. Otherwise, the kills have been really evenly distributed over the team, and no one's actually made it over 6.5. So if you're thinking it's going to be a low kill game, it's not like Damwon's going to have one player most of the time that pops off in a win. It really is distributed quite evenly, throughout the entire team. They won game 1 versus T1 like 15-4, right? But the highest number of kills was ShowMaker and Ghost with 4 each. So it was, I think that one is, I mean, maybe you take the under on that one,
Yeah. Maybe. I'm looking at some of these other total kill ones. So like, hey, this is total kills at 1st to 5 when kills occur. So that means the other team would have 2 kills and you get to 5, right? So one team's winning 5-2. Like something like that is interesting to me. Or is it 10-4, right? If one team is winning, how much are they winning by, rather than it being like, 8-8 or something like that. So those are interesting based off of staying under. And I like the fact that you've talked about how it's been evenly distributed. And again, we're believing that Damwon's going to win. So I think they win this first one dominantly. They will get 10 kills. We don't know if it's going to be spread out, but we think it's going to be spread out. But I also think it's going to be a more dominant win here. So I'm talking myself into this first to 10. They have to do it 10-14 or 10-4. They have to do it 10-4. If they get 5, if EDG gets 5 kills first, then that's not great. But I've talked myself into this one just for a baby bet. A baby bet. You can see how much Monty felt confident in that one.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'd have to think about it a little bit more, but I can see it happening for sure. And I think a lot of the stuff about kind of the kill averages and Damwon wins, even if they end up losing game 1, a lot of this information is still going to be applicable to the rest of the series.
Right. All right. I think we did a pretty good job with a lot of these bets. Let's take a look and go back.
And we thought that last week too, and we got owned. So
yeah, it was because the first week went so well. All right, let's take a look at some of these here that we did. We got the big 1,000 DJT bet on the series win for Damwon. First Dragon, First Blood, both for Damwon, the First Dragon, because they've had a higher focus on it. And then also the First Blood because of the 2v2. So we're hedging our bets on the fact that the stronger 2v2 of ShowMaker and Canyon will get the First Blood over the theoretically stronger bot lane duo of Viper and Mako, taking down anyone that goes into the bot lane. Then we gave first Herald I over to EDG with 250. Wasn't a crazy bet, but there were good odds on that one. EDG scrapping around and showing a proficiency to scrap around for the first Herald. First Baron going to Damwon, assuming that after all the scraps happen, Damwon will take control of the game, close it out. We talked about how the kill numbers have been very low for Damwon, except game number 4, was it? I think that was the one where they super stomped T1, and therefore their total kills.
No, it was game 3. It was a T1 win, but it was 32 kills in that.
Oh, 32.
So when Damwon closes and they win clean, basically.
There it is.
The only fiesta was one where they were, T1 couldn't close on them, basically.
Right. So we have under for most of them because most of their games when they win, it's clean. Kills game 1 handicap. So again, this is the one where it's like, hey, how close is the game going to be? We said, will it be 6 kills close? We think not. We think Damwon will have even more kills than that as they close out the game. And then I threw in this prop bet because I believe that it won't be close, that Damwon's going to do it early and they'll get to 10 kills before EDG gets to 4. All right. We went all over the place with this one, and hopefully it does a little bit better than our hit rate for week number.
Well, so it was more like the quarterfinals and less like the semifinals.
Exactly. Monty, we've done it. We've gone through a whole year of League of Legends, and now we're down to the final match of the 2021 season. I can't believe we're here. This one didn't feel too much of a slog like other seasons. Maybe summer, there's always that summer slump that happens around like week 3 of domestic leagues, if you're a fan of the LCS. But we're here. Cloud9 made it to, I got it out of knockout stage. LCS fans had a lot of faith. What was your favorite moment of the year?
Probably that last series between Damwon and T1. That one was pretty fucking great. I really enjoyed that.
All right. Well, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Best of luck putting your DJT where your mouth is. Make sure to head on over to djesports.io, create your account. You can get yourself the free DJT and play along with the World Prediction Series. Monty, dGon, see ya.